You and I watched Jurassic World when you were
Oh,
here
yeah.
a bit ago. That was. I actually today I looked a bit at the oldest Jurassic Park movie just to sort of get a feel, and I still think that the T-Rex is not only like well done, but I think it's like eerie, like it feels like it's really there somehow. Whereas the sort of CGI, where it's impressive and all, it just looks too futuristic and too much almost like a game. It's like you almost can see how that sort of technology is done these days. It's very easy to recognize, whereas the old I don't exactly know what effects they used in the first Jurassic Park movie, but it was a bit more irrational like that. It was, yeah, I don't know, and it just feels like more foreign like that, almost as if the T-Rex is an alien or some kind, like some kind of different creature. It's just
I bet
like
some people think that T-Rexes are aliens.
yeah, probably. But what I meant by alien is just like a very different creature to like the animals that we're used to. I mean, you don't get the sense that an elephant is like a dinosaur is like an elephant, like you kind of do, or yeah, I don't know.
I think I'm understanding what you're saying.
Yeah.
So be calm. I think I understand.
But that movie was terrible. Damn.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Not a fan.
Nope.
Not a fan at all. It almost feels like I wasted my life.
Watching bad movies. Oh,
well,
just that one.
There's bad movies, and there's then movies that are not enjoyable, as you say. Or should I even categorize them like? Basically, what I'm saying is that they're bad movies that are fun to watch. They're bad, so bad that they are good, or not good, but they're so bad that they are fun to watch.
Yeah.
And that movie was not that. That movie was just.
We did have a couple of laughs though about it.
Yeah, but those were mostly where like, this is definitely going to happen, and then some outrageous thing, and then it actually happened.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Well, I was just gonna spoil, but.
Okay, so there might be spoilers. Just saying, we might be spoilers. Go ahead.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think it's that much of a spoiler either. The way that they reason, like with gene manipulated dinosaurs, which is what they were to begin with. So I don't see how that's too spectacular. But this was sort of like, okay, they did take it to an extreme. The scientists at InGen this time. But the way they I'm lagging behind again.
Well, you're always.
Yeah, mentally as well.
That too.
But the way that they had like included raptor genes into the big Indominus Rex. Damn, I can't believe I remember the name of it.
What was it? That was just Indominus.
I think it was Indominus Rex.
It might as well be. It was a stupid name anyway.
Yeah, stupid name. And the way it started talking to them, it almost looked as if they were, like some kind of cartoon dinosaurs or something, where they were almost like moving their, you can almost see them moving their jaws or something as if they were talking.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Because it was like, that's what was going to happen. They're going to switch side, and it's like, and they turn around. It's like, oh shit. It actually happened.
Yeah, but then they turned sides again. They were kind of like Italy in warfare.
Yeah,
in 20th century.
That was also a very, 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 very. How should I say bad? It was not necessarily bad, but very, very strange scene.
Yeah.
The one where basically you have to pick now between mom or dad.
Yeah.
And it was like, this would really probably happen, Oh well. Hopefully, like that's probably the worst part right now with movies is these kind of soft reboots of franchises that lean far, far, far too much on.
It's all nostalgia.
Yeah, but they reuse so much of what was there, and then it's like, okay, let's do some stupid spin on it to make it a little bit different.
Yeah, like Ghostbusters as well. I mean, I haven't seen that movie, and I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan to begin with, but I just think it's such a desperate measure. Like, couldn't you, I mean, it's very easy to say but more difficult to do, but like invent a new Ghostbusters instead of like trying to repeat don't know. To an extent, I like it when franchises are like remade and stuff. But I think that, I mean, there are so many good movies from when I grew up and stuff, and I'm kind of wondering when my sister's kids and stuff, when they grow up, what will be their sort of like their generation's good movies. It will be like reboots almost. It's like, oh, Jurassic Park 5 or like whatever we're up to now, 4.
Well, that wouldn't be a reboot as much as a sequel.
Yeah, okay, sequel, but but like Ghostbusters reboot, Star Wars. I mean, I like the Star Wars movie, so but you really hate on the fact that it was like a sort of image, like, okay, let's take the script for episode 4, tweak it a bit, and make like new Obi-Wan, which will be Han Solo in this case.
Yeah,
so
it does. I mean, I was enjoyed by the movie, so I basically, in that movie, when I watched it, I liked watching it. I wasn't like, oh god, I hate being here, it was a huge waste of time. But it's more like the story was really, really boring in the way like the major events happened, like the way they were presented and stuff like that. Much better than, for example, the prequels. Like the script was better and everything like that, but the overall story arc and stuff like that, the major events, not a fan.
No, I mean, basically the plot wasn't that good.
Yeah,
I guess that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
but I thought the characters were really good and stuff. I did care for the characters. I thought Finn was maybe a bit like, I think Finn's friendship with everyone was very quick. Like he started to like, him and Ray loved each other from the start, and like that guy, I don't know what he's called now, but that like rogue or like ace guy, fighter pilot, whatever.
Yeah.
Can't remember
he has
his
a name. He has
Yeah,
a name.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he does.
But like, and him and Finn, they were like buddies like 2 minutes into, and then it was like, no, or like, he shouted his name, whatever it was now again, and stuff. It's just like that to me. I need more for them to like, to for me to care about their friendship or like what's at stake and stuff. But they were just like, hey, we met 2 minutes ago, and we sort of need each other, but that's all it is.
Yeah, and also spawning. Spoiler warning for those of you who have not watched the newest movie. I really, really hated the ending of the movie.
I was gonna say, what was the ending again?
Like,
but
everything from basically, we have the Death Star, but bigger this time. And the part where Han Solo was basically taking the place of, like, that scene reminded me way too much of Darth Vader's and Luke's first confrontation there on the what was when he lost his arm, basically.
Which one? When
was it in the first movie where he says, "I am your father"?
No, that's Empire Strikes Back. That's
okay.
Yeah, that's the second.
Well, anyway, when he chops off Luke's arm and he falls down dead.
Actually, I think that what you were saying first, like their first confrontation, is technically when they flee from the first Death Star. When
yeah, sure, but I meant more,
and then sort of because then you have Luke watching his.
But it wasn't really.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't really call that confrontation.
No, but they met. But like, I thought that's what you meant. But to me, that was almost more symbolically the same, because you have the sort of mentor getting killed in front of the student or whatever, and that's the same thing that happened now in episode 7. You have like Finn and all the others, or like they were all watching, and Han Solo just sort of like. It's not like he fell in battle either. Like, kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi, how he just sort of like, well, not gave up, but like, gave himself in or whatever, like sacrificed himself.
I suppose
it was kind of the same thing. I mean, Han Solo maybe didn't understand what was going to happen, but it was still the same effect.
I suppose so, but it's still like, I was hoping, near the end, when they like the good guys won, because this will be the fourth movie or whatever, episode 4 or the first movie, whatever to call it, where the good guys win, but in the second movie I assume number 8 in this case, then that the bad guys will win, and then that the the ninth movie or the last one will be basically, you know, the good guys win again. But at a heavy
I hope
cost.
they really mix it up in the next movie. That, you know, that what's he called? But the new Darth guy, the emo kid,
Kylo Ren.
I hope he really turns bad, like you know, turns a bit like insane almost like that. So it's really gonna be like you didn't expect how evil he would be. That's something I'm really hoping for. But I don't really know whether or not they have a more like I mean, George Lucas always said that Star Wars were kids' movies, much to the dismay of the fan base, but who weren't really kids, or at least not after a while. But I'm not sure, like, because to an extent I can sort of agree that generally Star Wars is a youth story, at least. It's not so much like, you know, for bitter adults who have opinions about everything. So I think that they can't go too crazy like that with you know, they can't go too sinister like that. Like, that you couldn't have like if you compare it to like Batman or something, you couldn't have like a Heath Ledger kind of character in Star Wars, I don't think. You know, like when he was the Joker or so, because that was sort of like almost too scary for kids to watch.
Yeah.
I don't really know how they see things.
I hope they do. I hope the next one knocks it out of the park.
But you know what I'm really afraid of?
Sense.
I'm afraid of something we discussed also when we were watching the Jurassic Park movie, the whole sort of love interest factor that's always present in American movies, especially, that there always has to be some kind of love interest, and it usually comes to a very high price. In other words, like, usually the plot suffers because there's just too much focus on also we need to make the love interest work, which it usually doesn't anyway. So that's also frustrating, that it's like, if you're gonna have a love interest, at least do it well, but they almost never do. While we're talking of this, by the way, where are you, or like, what are you?
I am trying to focus a bit on West Africa, but really we can't close the topic of movies. But I want to say one more thing. Really.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much my majorest, I don't think that's a word, disappointment with New York, because I thought, okay, so they introduced this massive Death Star, right? The super mega beefy Death Star. And every single Death Star, the first movie they appeared, I think, apart from if they showed in the closing shot like a new Death Star being built, then that's an exception, that it explodes in the same movie it's in. But I was hoping, against hope, that it wouldn't explode, but it would be like this mega, infernal Armageddon weapon would be knocked out, and it would just remain kind of like their base of operations that they could move around and whatnot. Because I thought that could be pretty cool to retain something from the movie, something stupid like that, and it could work in later movies. No. They had to explode it, but not only any explosion. They had to turn it into a fucking star. That was the most absurd part, because I was like, they brought in a mega Death Star to eclipse all other Death Stars, because why not? Why make everything bigger? I mean, this is Texas, right? And then, instead of doing something a bit different in the serious sense with it, they just kind of exploded, but made the explosion even bigger in the same way. Yeah.
That's something that I'm very annoyed by with movies in general. The whole like sort of, we have to beat the previous movie in how desperate the situation is, or how like it comes to a point where I don't even care these days about like movie plots, or I have a hard time at least caring about movie plots where it's like the end of the world is at stake, blah blah blah. Why can't it just be sort of like a modest threat or so? Why does it have to be like like a super villain, like, and sort of with the Death Star in this case, that the Death Star is just like, okay, first you had the first Death Star, that was terrible, and then you have like the second Death Star, which has even greater capacity if it will be. At least that one wasn't completed, though. I kind of like that because it was just like on its way. But now then they had like the this Death Star, and I just sort of go like, well, I'm not surprised, but it's just so dull that you can't have like, why couldn't it be just like, oh well, they're they're working on a Death Star or something like that, or like they're gonna try to build a new one or something. But instead they had to go like, oh well, it's actually completed, and this one is like 5 Death Stars in one. It's like, where will it end?
Yeah, and also the weapon is going to charge, but we need to attack it within this time space, or we'll destroy everything we have. Oh, luckily we managed to destroy it before it annihilated us.
Yeah,
It's like every other Death Star in existence, except for the one that actually blew up. Which place was it that blew up again?
Alderaan, yeah.
Yeah, I like that a little GIF, if anyone can find it online. Alderaan shot first. Because it always makes me smile.
I didn't know about that. That's pretty funny.
Which is like the Death Star kind of nudged out of the way, and the laser, walks past. Shot from Alderaan, and then Alderaan blew up. It's funny.
Yeah.
In the best kind of way, it's funny. Oh well, I'll try to invade Africa now, I suppose. I've been trying for quite a while, so let's succeed.
I'm getting quite a lot of help from your units, and also there's some Japanese guys here that are very helpful. But the problem is that, okay, we're shrinking their like general territory, but they're still. I mean, I've had supply issues for God knows how long, and it's still going on. But the problem is also that the enemy's divisions are pretty numerous. So that certainly doesn't help me.
That is true, but can I point out something that seems... this is just so stupid in a way. Go into strategic map mode, or air map mode, I mean, and look at Africa, rather the central part of Africa. That region of, one air region, sub-Saharan Africa, is like half the world in size.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Compare that to English Channel.
Yeah, I placed some airplanes up here, in Nigeria. Sure, fine. Now I cover all of Congo all the way over to Tanzania and Kenya, whatever. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Of course, I can cover, Kenya and Tanzania, no problem at all. I just need to place some airplanes in Nigeria to do it. So hopefully they can, break it up a little bit. Then again, I suppose they didn't expect too much warfare in sub-Saharan Africa to begin with, because there wasn't really that much happening. Can your game stop lagging, because it randomly pauses the game as well? I've noticed.
I don't know what happens, because right now now I got the lagging behind bit, so I don't really know what's going on. What's your date? I have 6th of December.
6th of December.
Yeah, okay.
I have the same. I can see where you are. It's more like, sometimes I've noticed that the game suddenly is paused for no reason. I don't remember, like, I haven't paused it. And you haven't said that you have paused it.
Okay, because I've been thinking that that's your way to sort of try to solve my lag, that you sort of pause it for a while. So I've been like, oh, well, I hope we can continue soon. But that's just, okay. That's also something...
I just haven't noticed that it had been paused.
Yeah, but that's also something I find a bit, like, dumb with this game. That you sort of... okay, maybe it is pretty clear when it's paused and not. But I think that sometimes it's not. I mean, you have sort of the day span, of course, but you sort of like, after a while, you don't even notice that. At least I'm pretty like, sometimes I can like have it paused for ages without really remembering that it is paused.
It's just that time is wasted and don't even realize that time is wasted. But I've lost some... Holy shit. I just lost 34 submarines in one single strike, and then before I had lost 21. And all I've gotten for it... 34 submarines.
Is it a naval strike, or...?
No, it's more like, naval battle.
Naval battle, okay. Because I always lose my navy to the enemy naval bombers.